So we are here at Startree booth at Current 2025 and I am going to tell you about what Startree is, what are the different use cases, a few customer stories, and we'll talk to their entire team. Super excited to meet them and understand more about Startree, Apache Pinot and related stuff. So let's go and see what's there on their booth and what the people have to say. So Jayesh, what is Startree, if you can make it simple for the audience?
So Startree is the company behind Apache Pinot. Apache Pinot is an open source technology. It is basically, to sum it up few words, it is the fastest real-time analytical database. So for example, if you want to do analytics much like how Blinkit and Razorpay do it for all of their orders, all of their merchants, that is where you use Apache Pinot. And Startree is the company which provides a managed offering of Apache Pinot.
I think all of them would have experienced it through Razorpay or Blinkit. Secondly, like we are here at Confluent, I was just talking to and listening about the latest announcements at Confluent. How do you relate Confluent and Startree together, and are the customers using Confluent and Startree together?
Oh, so just to go back slightly in time, we have an interesting birth story. So Kafka or Apache Kafka was born at LinkedIn, and Apache Pinot itself was born back at LinkedIn. So they both are tied at the hip itself. We can basically point to any Kafka topic without needing any external connectors and start ingesting the data from any Kafka topic and then doing very fast analytics on top of it. So they are basically just a simple connection away.
Great, I think it would be super exciting for people to try out Startree. I think there is Startree Cloud that they can explore, and there's a free trial also. You can go ahead and explore. Thank you so much, Jayesh. So I have with me Uday from Startree. Let's talk to him about how Startree is making them back in APAC and understand more about from the lens of audience who are first time hearing about Startree. So hi Uday, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Uday. I'm been with Startree since pretty much the beginning. And right now I run the product and engineering teams at Startree.
Great. I think a lot of folks were interested to learn about Startree at the booth. Here we saw.
Yes, there is a lot of traffic there.
Yeah. And we're listening about different use cases, right? And APAC is a very hot market right now. APAC specifically, we talk about India, right? It's a very hot market. How do you see real-time OLAP or Startree's growth here in India with respect to Apache Pinot or Startree Cloud?
Yeah, so the growth in India has been phenomenal, even from the beginning. Right, even when we did not have go-to-market here, we've always had companies here adopting Pinot, open source Pinot, and adopting Startree from the beginning. Razorpay was one of our very early adopters. Walmart here back like 4 years ago when we were a very small company, they did a meetup here talking about how they're using Apache Pinot to solve some critical problems. Right. So what happens, and this is kind of my view, is Indian diaspora, India economy, Indian market naturally has that scale problem, right? Yeah. You get into millions and hundreds of millions of users very quickly, and Pinot as a technology is built for scale, right? Pinot is built for scale, so it's kind of a match made in heaven, right? A technology that is built for addressing millions of users, and here there is a market which actually demands that.
But yeah, apart from that, right, we would see various other platforms in the market who are doing real-time OLAP. So how do you feel like Startree is differentiating from others, and how has Startree been able to write its own success story in India?
Yes, very good question. So the thing is, real-time, everybody is talking about real-time, right? Now, Startree and Pinot have fundamentally been built on that real-time platform, right? If you think about how we integrate with Kafka, right? We actually integrate tightly with Kafka so that we can provide real-time data pull from Kafka as opposed to micro-batching, right? There are a lot of solutions that are called real-time, but they're actually doing micro-batching, right? So that is not the case with us. Another thing that is very, very important distinction, and actually one gentleman here was asking me about that, is the semantics of how we consume the data. At least once versus exactly once. When you're reading from Kafka, it is very important that you provide exactly once semantics. We are able to do that, right? We are actually there is this saying that Pinot is what happens after Kafka, right? We kind of were invented around the same time Kafka came in, and the tight integration allows us to be able to do these semantics, right? Exactly one semantics where lot of other vendors, a lot of other technologies provide at least one, which can lead to data duplication, additional overload on the applications. So these are some of the things that we've innovated going in that allowed us to have the differentiation.
But India, I think being a cost first market, it would be tough for you to convince folks. So how do you see, like, how do you maintain that cost efficiency and high performance at the same time when it comes to Pinot?
Right. So I think there is a misnomer. There are companies here that pay huge vast sums of money.
I think there's a picture or
Correct, right? There are, back 10 years ago, maybe that is true that, hey, India is cost conscious. I don't think that's the case anymore. Cloud providers are coming here because they are able to, the companies
Navigate
here
the
that are
market,
producing, they are able to, purchase the services, right? So that's not really the case. But that said, Pinot fundamentally is built to reduce the dollar per query, right? And Startree, that's one of our visions, is to reduce the cost of querying so low that companies are able to provide those insights to every one of their end users, right? If you take companies like LinkedIn, Uber, Walmart, DoorDash, all these companies, they are providing a huge amount of insights to their end users, and the only way they're able to do that is because those insights are not as expensive, right? If you have to spend $1-2 for every query, you're not going to give so many insights to your end users. What we are trying to do is to reduce that cost by orders of magnitude.
any piece of advice to somebody who is building in India and is looking forward to various options, be it data streaming, be it real-time analytics, anything? Somebody who is just starting up in India in this space, what one piece of advice from your end?
Well, I'll give you some, I have lots of things I can say about, building companies and all of that, but one thing I will say is don't wait for the scale.
Yeah.
You are going to get to that scale eventually. Build fundamentally strong infrastructure, build fundamentally strong platform, and believe in yourself that you'll get to the scale.
Yeah.
And use Apache Pinot.
And being in India, you need to use Apache Pinot to reach that scale. I think it was great talking to you, Udit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So Jayesh, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Harsh. My name is Jayesh Chaudhary. I'm working as a software engineer in Startree. I've been here for almost 3 years now. Yeah.
What's the current tech stack you're working on, or how you have been creating impact at Startree?
So I mostly look at front-end app side of things. So we have built a lot of self-serve UI and no-code tools like Data Manager, which is a no-code ingestion tools that helps you ingest data easily into Pinot. We have RBAC, where you can configure roles and policies and apply RBAC into Pinot, and a lot of other exciting projects.
Anything you want to? Any specific thing you wish to highlight?
So I would say how we distribute our software to customers is not really common, because a lot of company operate on SaaS model, but large enterprise customers, they don't want to leave their data from their data centers. So we have a couple of deployment models, each based on the customer needs. First is SaaS, where we deploy the entire cluster into our account, so you pay for infra as well as the Startree license. The second model is BYOC, which is bring your own cloud, where we deploy the entire infra to your cloud account, so you bear the infra cost, but you pay for the license that we have. And the third model that we have recently launched, which is shared SaaS. Our entire trial runs on shared SaaS. Basically, the shared SaaS is for customers who don't want to spend too much time, too much money, but they do want to experience Pinot. So what we do is we allocate shared resources from a very giant cluster to customers, and they can pay small amount and start using Startree.
I think it was great talking to you. Thank you so much, Jayesh.